Hello and welcome to today's live lesson. When you enter the room, please say hello in live chat. So that I know that you are here. So welcome to the second live lesson of this month of this year, 2021. So in today's lesson, today's lesson is aimed at intermediate level students or maybe a little bit higher actually. Some of the expressions we're going to look at are intermediate, upper intermediate, maybe even going towards advanced as well actually. But we're going to look at idioms, and particularly we're looking at idioms which are related to feelings. So we're going to go through 10 idioms and use the same structure as past live lessons, where I'm going to give you a sentence and there's going to be a word missing in the sentence. Different types of words this time. Like last week we were talking about the phrasal verbs and it was always a verb that was missing. So this time we're going to just have different words missing, so you have to complete it. Hi Josefa, how are you? So you have to complete it as we go along. Also in the sentences I put in brackets the meanings, like last week with the phrasal verbs as well, so that will hopefully help you try to figure out what these idioms mean. So before we get started, I think it's useful to think about what idioms are and why we should be learning them. So idioms are expressions which have a meaning that's not necessarily easy to figure out from the words in it. So, for this, it means that context is really important to be able to understand idioms. And sometimes context isn't enough to be able to understand an idiom that you haven't come across before. So, it's important to build up the idioms that you know. And I guess the other question is, why are these things important? Idioms are important, especially as you go from kind of intermediate level to advanced. It makes you sound more advanced as well. It enriches your vocabulary. So they are important things to learn. Also, native speakers use them a lot, so it's important to be able to understand them and important to be able to use them as well, so you sound more like a native speaker, and like my previous point, more advanced as well. And sometimes an idiom is actually the best way to describe the situation that we're trying to talk about. Hi, Vicky. Thanks for joining us. Hello to you as well. And idioms are quite enjoyable to learn because they're kind of an interesting part of language. You say, oh, really? Is that what that means? And we can compare idioms in different languages as well, because sometimes you have something which is exactly the same. Sometimes you have things which are a little bit the same, or there's one word missing, and then sometimes you have completely different idioms as well. So that's always quite enjoyable to look at that. Hello, Ajmi. Is that your first name? I hope so. Hello. Thanks for joining us today. Okay, so yeah, that's why idioms are important, what idioms are. So let's get started with our first example now. And all of these idioms are related to feelings. So they all describe a certain feeling, which I will give you in brackets in the sentence as well. It's good to group idioms in this way as well, because it's easier to remember them and easier to learn them if you group them together, like we were talking last week with phrasal verbs about change as well. Okay, so enough talking from me. It's time for you guys to do something. So I'm going to take the first sentence with a gap, and I would like you to try to think about what the answer to the gap might be. I put it in the live chat, and I'll show you on the screen as well in case some of you can't see it very well. So the first sentence is, I'm on top of the something today. I just passed all of my exams, with the meaning here of very happy. Okay, so the meaning that we have here is very happy, and the expression is to be on top of the something. Hi Angie, how are you? Thanks for joining us. So that's the first example. The meaning we have here is very happy, and the expression is to be on top of the blank. So please try to think what the answer might be. I'm not sure if you have something like this in your own languages, and put your answer into the live chat so we can see. NJ, moon, okay, that's a good guess. It's not, there's another expression that we have later on with moon, but that's not right there. Does anybody else want to give it a go? Try to answer? I'll give you a couple of seconds. Day, Josefa, good guess. That's not right either. Okay, I'm going to copy the full sentence so that you can have a look at it. Okay, so there's the full sentence there. I'm on top of the world today. I just passed all of my exams. So that's our first expression there, to be on top of the world, which means to be very happy. Top of the world, yes, that's right. NG, good. So top of the world, we have other expressions that sound a little bit similar to that, but they have different meanings as well. And it shows you how, just one word difference in an idiom can really change the meaning of it as well. For example, you can say that somebody is on the top of their game, and this means that they're performing very well. They're doing the best job that they can. And on top of the world means very happy. So there's actually only one little word difference there. Structure's a little bit different as well. And it changes the meaning of it completely. Okay, once we've looked at our 10 idioms for today, then I'll ask you to compare to your own language as well to see if any of the ones that come up today you use in your language as well. Okay, so that was the first one, to be on top of the world, which means very happy. So let's have a look at sentence 2 and idiom 2. Okay, so here's a sentence here. I've been feeling a bit something in the dumps since I lost my job. So the meaning here is depressed. I've been feeling a bit something in the dumps since I lost my job. The meaning is depressed or sad. Actually, we could say that this is the opposite of our first example, because our first example, on top of the world, means very happy, and this means sad or depressed. So can anybody think what the answer might be to complete this expression? No answers yet. That's probably a good sign. It means that these expressions are new. I think you can guess this one, actually. This one kind of makes sense, apart from the dumps part, but the word that is missing here also means depressed or sad. You could use this word on its own with the same meaning. So, okay, we don't have any takers, so let's have a look at the answer. Okay, so there we go. There we have it. I've been feeling a bit down in the dumps since I lost my job. So down in the dumps, with this expression, dump is obviously the place where you put your garbage, and the city puts their garbage and all that kind of stuff. But it's not really important for to know the meaning of that word for this expression. All you have to know is that down in the dumps means depressed. It means sad. It means the opposite of our first idiom, on top of the world. So there we have it there. So to be or to feel down in the dumps means to feel depressed. Okay. let's have a look at our third example of an idiom related to feelings. Okay, so it's there in the live chat just now, and can you see that? Yes, now you can. So it's I'm sick and something of studying. Let's do something else. So even though we have sick in the meaning, in the expression, in the idiom here, the meaning is not sick. The meaning is bored. Okay, so say I'm sick and something of studying. So sick and something with the meaning of bored. So it doesn't mean ill, it doesn't mean unwell, it doesn't mean sick. It means bored. It's quite strong, actually. I would say it probably means really bored, very bored. So does anybody want to try to answer this? Does anybody have a clue what might be the correct answer to this? I'm sick and something of studying. Let's do something else. Maybe not the best example to have in an English lesson, because you shouldn't be sick and you shouldn't be bored of studying. Okay, is anybody going to give us an answer? You've had some time to think about it. So let's look at the correct sentence. Okay, so there we go. And it's I'm sick and tired of studying. Let's do something else. So to be sick and tired of something, or to feel sick and tired of something, means that you're really bored of it. Josefa, why are you sorry? You don't have to be sorry. That's fine. Okay, so we're moving on here. Let's have a look at our next expression. Feel free to take a guess at these, based on other expressions that you know or expressions from your own language as well. It doesn't matter if you're not sure, but it's good to contribute and to have a go at answering these questions. So with that in mind, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, so this one is I'm a bit under the something at the moment. Maybe I have a cold coming on. So the meaning here is sick or unwell, ill. So I'm feeling a bit sick at the moment. I'm feeling a bit under the something. So unlike the last expression, sick and tired meant bored, it didn't mean sick. This expression actually means sick. So I'm feeling a bit under the something at the moment. Okay. So let me know if you have any ideas what you think this idiom is. Okay. So the correct answer is I'm feeling a bit under the weather at the moment. Yeah, there we go. So I'm feeling a bit under the weather at the moment. Maybe I have a cold coming on. So under the weather, to feel under the weather, to be under the weather means sick in this idiom, in this expression here. Good. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. Okay, here we go. When I saw how happy she was with the present, it really made my something, and this means it made me feel very happy. Constipated, Giuseppa, is that about, like a bit blocked in the meaning for the last one, I guess you mean for that, Giuseppa. You couldn't use that with the under the, so it needs to be with the expression under the weather, it would need to be that. And obviously what you're talking about, a bit blocked, a bit then that would be a different meaning. Okay, so we have an answer to this one. Does anybody else want to contribute to this one? So in this one, it really made my something. It means it made me feel really happy. So you gave somebody a present, you saw how happy they were, and it made you feel happy in return because of that. So what could the answer to that be? NJ says they. So let's see if she is correct. Hey, Josefa says as well. Yes, you're both right. Well done. So there's a complete sentence there. When I saw how happy she was with the present, it really made my day. So it made me feel really happy. Okay, so you think about it, something like, it's the best thing to happen to you that day. So it made you feel really happy. It made my day. It made me feel really happy because she was happy with the present that I got her. Okay, let's go on and look at, I've lost count now. I think this is maybe number 6. Yes, it is number 6 of the 10 idioms that we're going to look at today. So have a look at this example and see what you think. A little bit of a longer one here. So let's have a look. I really don't know what to do about the problem. I'm at the something of my tether. So the meaning of this here is that you're so tired or annoyed that you really can't deal with the situation any longer. Tether, it's not too important what tether means because we've got the meaning of that here, that you can't go on with it, you've had enough. But tether is like a rope or a line that, for example, you would tie an animal to. So the expression here is something of, to be at the something of your tether, and it just means that you've had enough. You're about to give up. You can't take it anymore. That it's too much for you. So that's the meaning that we have here. To be at the something of my tether. You've had a situation that you've been putting up with, to use one of our phrasal verbs from a previous lesson. For a long time, you've been tolerating something for a long time, and you decided, no, I'm at the, the final, I'm trying not to use the word, the answer here, I'm at the final part of my patience. So does anybody have an idea what it might be here? Okay, I'm going to give you a second and then put the correct answer. Well done, NG. Yes, you're correct. Okay, so there's the correct answer there. I really don't know what to do about the problem. I'm at the end of my tether. So you're so tired, annoyed that you can't deal with the situation anymore. Think you've had enough. You're about to give up. You can't take it anymore. So this, the idiom is to be at the end of your tether. And this ties into what I was talking about at the start of the lesson, that sometimes, an idiom is actually the very best way that you can express yourself, and that hello, happy new year to you too. Thank you for joining us. Sometimes an idiom is the best way that you can describe yourself, because when I'm trying to explain to you what does end of your tether mean, I have to use, quite a lot of words and different scenarios and explain it to you. But actually, if you've got that expression, you can just use that. And that's the best way for you to communicate your feelings. I'm at the end of my tether. I can't go on like this anymore. Okay, good. Let's have a look at the next example. Okay, there we go. There's the sentence here. The match was so close, it had me on the edge of my something. So the meaning here is that you're very excited and paying full attention to something. So if we think about the scenario here, you're watching a football match, a sports match of some kind, and it's really close. You don't know who's going to win. So you're paying your full attention. You're really excited to see what's going to happen next. Obviously, we could use this about a film or about something else as well. So you're really excited and you're paying full attention is the meaning here. Thinking about, you can't look away. You're mesmerized. You're just watching it to see what is going to happen next. So you are on the edge of your something. Let's see, do any of you have an answer for this one? Can anybody try to answer this? To be on the edge of your what? What could be the answer to that one? The edge of your world? That would be a nice expression, Angie, but unfortunately, it's not right. Okay, maybe it'll help you to think about the situation. So if you're sitting watching a sports game and you're like this, you're at the edge, of what? Trying to watch it because it's so exciting. I almost spilled my water doing that, so that wasn't a good idea. Okay, let's have a look at the answer to this. So there's the complete sentence. The match was so close, it had me on the edge of my seat. So this expression actually makes sense when you think about it, because if you're really paying full attention to something and you're really excited to see what's going to happen next, that's where you would be. You wouldn't be sitting back, relaxing. You'd be right on the edge of your seat, waiting to see what happens next. Good. Let's go on to look at the next one. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this one, so I expect some correct answers here, but no pressure. Okay, so there's the sentence there. The concert was so good, it really blew my something. So this means that you found it exciting and unusual. I'm sure you've all seen GIFs and memes and all of these things about these things, so it was so good it blew my, what could the meaning of this be? We also use this sometimes for, like, if you find something crazy, you can say it blew my, not my head, something else. So what could the answer to this one be? Try to think, put the answer in the live chat, and in just a second I'll give you the correct answer. Agnieszka, hello. Thank you for joining us. And that's the correct answer. And somebody else whose name I can't read. Ajme, thank you for joining in. Mind. Okay, so a lot of people coming up with this one. I thought you might know this one. Good. Okay, I'm going to put the correct sentence there because a lot of people know that one. That's one you know, but I think the other ones were maybe a little bit more difficult and new for you, which is good because hopefully that means that you're learning something. So there we go. There's the complete sentence. The concert was so good, it really blew my mind. So it blew my mind, I found it really exciting and interesting and something new, unusual for me as well. Like I said, we could use this for something that you find crazy and difficult to understand. It blew your mind. You're like, what? I can't get my head around that. I can't understand it. Okay, good. Now this next expression, hopefully we'll get some good answers to as well. So let's have a look at the sentence. There we go. So she'll something bananas when you tell her that you're leaving. So the meaning here is get really angry. Josefa, mind? Yes, thank you for the last one. I wonder if there's a delay sometimes in these things. Anyway, so the meaning of this new expression is she'll get really angry or she'll lose her temper when you tell her that you're leaving. Maybe she's your boss and you've got a new job and you have to tell your boss and they're going to get really angry because it means they have to find somebody else or they have to do some extra work themselves or something like that. Or maybe it's your girlfriend and you tell her that you're leaving and she's going to go crazy. She's going to get really angry, get really mad. So what is the expression we could use here? Elaf, hello. How are you? Thank you for joining. Okay, so do we have any answers for this? Get insane, Agnieszka, that's the meaning, but it's just one word in the space. So it's, something bananas. And the meaning here is go insane, get really angry, lose your temper. And the correct answer is, do we have the correct answer yet? So Angie gave us the correct answer, yes, and it is she'll go bananas when you tell her that you are leaving. So the meaning to that is, like we were talking about, there's the full sentence, she'll go bananas when you tell her that you're leaving. The meaning of that is get really angry, lose your temper, go insane, go mad, all of those things there. Okay, well done. I think we're on our last sentence now, actually. And for those of you who are part of my Facebook group, Learn English with Alex, then you'll have seen this one yesterday, but I don't think I actually gave the answer. Let's have a look and see if you can get the answer to this one. So there's a sentence there. In case you can't see it in live chat, he was over the something when he found out that he got the job. And the meaning is delighted, very happy. Okay, getting some good answers already. Three answers, moon, and all three of you are correct, of course. So there is the completed sentence. There, he was over the moon when he found out that he got the job. So he was really happy. He was on top of the world. That was our first idiom for today. Okay, well done. So I think there was some new expressions there. I could tell, the ones that you're more confident about, we get more answers. That's fine. If we just recap for a minute, and I want you to think about if you have these expressions, these idioms in your language, or if you have something different as well. And you can let me know in the live chat if you have anything that you think is interesting to share. So our first idiom was to be on top of the world, which means really happy. We also had down in the dumps, which means sad or depressed. Sick and tired, to be sick and tired of something, which means really bored. It doesn't mean sick. It doesn't mean tired. It doesn't mean ill or unwell. It means bored. So I'm sick and tired of studying. We also had to be under the weather, which means sick or unwell. We said something can make your day. It made my day, which means it makes you feel very happy. Mila, you have similar idioms in Russian. Please tell me which ones. Put in the live chat. Everybody else as well. As I'm reading these out again, please let me know. So make my day means make me feel very happy. The next one we had was at the end of my tether. So that means that you're tired, annoyed, you can't take it anymore, you're going to give up. Also, we had to be on the edge of your seat, which means that you're really excited, you're paying full attention to something. What else did we have? It blew my mind, which means you found it exciting and unusual. To go bananas, which means to get really angry. And then to be over the moon, which means to be delighted, happy. So we had 10 different idioms. Do you have any of them in your languages? Mila says she has similar idioms. I wonder which ones are similar. Probably not all of them. So I'm curious to know which ones. You can always send me a message later on if you want to tell me about idioms in your languages. But we had these 10 idioms here, which all describe different feelings. That was the focus for today. As I said at the start, it's good to group idioms in this way if you want to try to remember them. And as I mentioned before, looking at things in context is really important when it comes to idioms, because if you just look at something on its own down in the dumps, or it blew my mind, maybe a lot of people know that one, but go bananas, it's difficult to know what these things mean without the context. And you said they have blew your mind in Egypt as well. It's very similar to the Russian one. So you have the same, and then you get. I can't read that in Russian, unfortunately, but I'll believe you that it's the same. I'll trust you that you're telling me that's the same, and you're not, swearing at me in Russian or something like that. I'm joking, of course. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining the live lesson today. I hope you learned some new idioms. These are all very useful ones. I picked idioms that I feel are actually used. Sometimes these things can go out of fashion a little bit, and they can come a little bit old-fashioned, I guess, but all of these ones are things that native speakers actually use. So listen out for them next time, and look back at some of the examples that I gave today, and try your best to remember grouping them around the idea of feelings and different feelings. So that's us finished for today. Thank you again for joining. Please like this video. It makes a big difference to me. Obviously, subscribe to my channel. I have another 6 lessons coming out in January, so two videos per week, and I'm still doing every Wednesday a live lesson for now because I have a little bit more time. So feel free to join. Follow me in social media. I have all of the information there. My website as well, learnenglishwithalex.com, if you want to see when the different events are. So I'm going to stop. Agnieszka, no worries for being late. I'm used to you being late by now. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to stop promoting myself and let you get back to your day. So thanks very much, everyone. Hopefully see you at the next live lesson or another one in the future. So thanks very much and have a good day.